My participation will highlight our advocacies in promoting a rules-based international order, including in the South China Sea, strengthening food security, calling for climate justice, tapping the potential of the digital and creative economies, protecting migrant workers in crisis situations, as well as combating trafficking in persons. The second ASEAN Summit for this year provides a strategic opportunity for ASEAN to deepen its robust partnerships with Australia, Canada, India, China, Japan, Korea, the United States, and the United Nations. We will foster cooperation with these countries in areas such as trade and investment, climate action, food security, clean energy, and maritime cooperation. Haba po kami ay nasa Jakarta, ay walang tigil po ang aming pagtutok sa sitwasyon na ngayon na ating hinaharap tungkol sa bigas. Lahat ng pag-aaral ng Department of Agriculture at lahat ng ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan, hindi namin makita ang magagandang dahilan kung bakit tataas ang presyo ng bigas ng ganito. Lumalampas na 50 pesos ang bawat isang kilo. Ngayon, sa pag-aaral namin, ang dahilan lamang dito ay talagang nandyan ang mga smuggler at maaari ayaw kong pakialaman ang merkado at pabayaan natin, let the market do its work. Ngunit ay pinapakialaman na ang merkado natin. Kaya't kailangan pumasok ang pamahalaan at ito nga ang aming ginawa ay tayo ay naglagay ng price ceiling para sa presyo ng bigas. Sa kasalukuyan, ang ating DTI, ang ating Department of Agriculture, ay gumagawa ng listahan ng ating mga rice retailers, yung mga association ng mga rice retailer, kung sino man ang mga rice retailer. At habang ginagawa yan, kinakalkula rin kung ano ang magiging lugi ng mga rice retailer dahil nga sa price cap. Kaya ang DSWD naman ay tiniyak namin na meron silang pondo ihanda upang pag nakalkula na natin ang lugi ng mga rice retailer ay bibigyan naman natin sila ng tulong, katumbas na tulong. This is a temporary measure. The rice supply will be coming in the second week of September. Nandyan na yung ani ng Pilipinas, nandyan na yung importation natin. Wala na naman talagang magiging dahilan kung bakit tataas ang presyo ng bigas at maibabalik natin sa dati nating kinasanayan na presyo. will integrate our production systems by linking, for example, manufacturing, agriculture, and services, deepening the global value chain's participation, pursuing a more aggressive trade and investment policy, and expanding and diversifying our export, trade, and our investment partners. With strong partnerships, I see many opportunities for ASEAN partner countries and the Philippines to further strengthen our ties in trade and investment. This roundtable meeting is a significant platform to guide this long-standing partnership.
It's primarily on certain areas, in agriculture, entrepreneurship, MSME development. So that went on pretty well. We wanted to brief the President on what are the efforts of the ASEAN BAC is doing. The second part was primarily on agriculture, basically. A MOA signing with each country, Philippines signing with Malaysia, which we signed in Malaysia already, Singapore, all the 10 countries signed with us. And basically, the idea there is our request, for example, with Malaysia, is a help in rubber and palm oil. So depending on the country, where their strength is, that is where we're asking help. What's also important is the big brothers of these countries also help us. And then we collaborate. In other words, where they're weak, we will help. So if you start doing that with critical crops that the Philippines needs and them helping us, then that's where you can see the real purpose of ASEAN. And that is greater collaboration on all areas: agriculture, MSME development, digitalization. So each country has their own strength. Thailand is in digital, so they're getting us to join that network as well. So it's a mentorship. It's a mentorship type of network where big brothers from each country help the smaller countries who need that help.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Your Majesty, Excellencies. We gather today at a critical juncture in the history of our region. The global landscape is witnessing unprecedented shifts, from the escalation of regional security threats to the transformation of the global economy. As one community, our collective well-being hinges upon our ability to respond to the changing paradigm of our times in a timely and effective manner. In these times of uncertainty, ASEAN should matter more than ever. The significance of ASEAN on the global stage can only be sustained so long as we can demonstrate to the rest of the world that ASEAN continues to be a force for positive change. The first step in that positive change is the promotion and the maintenance of peace. Because as we speak for progress, that progress must be built on a strong foundation of peace. And so let us look at the threats to peace in our region. One test of our relevance is our ability to facilitate a peaceful resolution in Myanmar. We remain firm that the resolution to the Myanmar crisis should be Myanmar-owned and Myanmar-led. We continue to support the efforts of the ASEAN Chair to engage all stakeholders in Myanmar. We reiterate that all efforts in Myanmar should be in line with a 5-point consensus and done in coordination with the Chair of ASEAN. Your Majesty, Excellencies, our vision for the South China Sea is a sea of peace, stability, and prosperity. Today, sadly, this remains a distant reality. For our part, the Philippines will continue to work with all the countries to foster a rules-based international order. We remain committed to the peaceful resolution of disputes in the South China Sea in accordance with international law. We will continue to uphold and exercise freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea in accordance with international law, including, of course, the 1982 UNCLOS. But let me be clear. we do not seek conflict. But it is our duty as citizens and as leaders to always rise to meet any challenge to our sovereignty, to our sovereign rights, and our maritime jurisdictions in the South China Sea. No country would expect any less. No country would do any less. The Philippines firmly rejects misleading narratives that frame the disputes in the South China Sea solely through the lens of strategic competition between two powerful countries. This not only denies us our independence and our agency, but it also disregards our own legitimate interests. We once more call upon all parties for self-restraint on activities that complicate disputes in the South China Sea. We must not undermine regional peace, stability, and security. We cannot emphasize enough that actions, not words, should be the ultimate measure of our commitment to securing peace and stability in the South China Sea. Anything else simply does not suffice. We therefore seek your support for the operationalization of practical measures such as the ADMM guidelines for maritime interaction, which we envision will be expanded to our external partners in due time. The Philippines is also pleased to have hosted the second ASEAN multilateral naval exercise off Zambales and Bataan, and the 40th meeting of the JWD-DOC in Manila to expedite the negotiations for a substantive and effective code of conduct in the South China Sea. As tensions and mistrust between the great powers escalate, so too does the prospect of miscalculation that threatens to engulf the region with the severest consequences for all of us. It is imperative that we leverage the ASEAN regional architecture to serve as a diplomatic bridge that promises mutual understanding, strategic trust, and peaceful settlement of disputes. History will ultimately judge whether the supremacy of the rule of law prevails, ushering in an era where all nations truly stand as equals, independent and unswayed by any single outside power. The challenge for us remains that we must never allow the international peaceful order to be subjected to the forces of might applied for a hegemonic ambition. The future of peace rests now on how we together face this challenge to that peace. Thank you and good afternoon. Move the APT onwards to ever greater things in both the strategic and economic arenas. We must stay united. We reiterate our proposal for APT cooperation to consider diversifying ACTR by adding other commodities and staple foods to rice to strengthen food security, poverty alleviation, and the eradication of hunger and malnutrition amongst ASEAN member countries. Let us work together in increasing the accessibility of the digital infrastructure and provide opportunities to enhance digital literacy and digital upskilling. Our collaboration must give rise to paradigm-shifting innovation towards a more sustainable economic model where progress and prosperity do not come at the cost of the health of our planet. militarization of reclaimed features in the South China Sea is of great concern, as well as the concern for continued illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing that affects both our fisher folks. As maritime nations, both the Philippines and Japan not only share the common interest of maintaining peace and stability in the South China Sea, but also in enhancing our resiliency in responding to maritime disasters. I look forward to the special summit commemorating the 50th anniversary of ASEAN-Japan friendship and cooperation in Tokyo this December. We welcome the Enhancing Policy Dialogue on Maritime Affairs with the ROK under the initiative to contribute to the overall enhancement of ASEAN-ROK comprehensive security cooperation. We appreciate the ROK's continued support in upholding the UNCLOS as a key pillar of the rules-based international order as the region faces unilateral attempts to change the status quo in its waters. We share concerns on the militarization of reclaimed features, the dangerous use of Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels, and other coercive activities. We welcome ROK's intention to elevate the relation with ASEAN to a comprehensive strategic partnership. We are optimistic that what we have achieved together in the past decades will quickly be surpassed when relations with ROK are elevated to that of a comprehensive strategic partner of ASEAN. Allow me also to begin by thanking India for supporting ASEAN during the last non-aligned movement meeting, where India stood in solidarity with ASEAN, especially on our call to factually update paragraphs on the South China Sea in the NAM Ministerial Outcome document. ASEAN and India share a common vision for the Indo-Pacific region. We both envision a progressive Indo-Pacific that encompasses maritime cooperation to ensure sustainable use of maritime resources, particularly in tackling illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, promoting the blue economy, and mitigating maritime pollution, amongst other issues. We also thank India for co-hosting the ASEAN-India Maritime Exercise 2023, an example of how cooperation between ASEAN and a comprehensive strategic partner could promote an open, inclusive, balanced, transparent, and rules-based regional architecture. As the next country coordinator for ASEAN-India relations, I assure all that we will endeavor to deliver concrete programs through this partnership that will truly benefit both the region and our peoples for many years to come. We call on ASEAN and our partners to harness our shared interests and rally us into taking joint action, guided by ASEAN centrality and universal multilateralism. We must not allow tensions in the South China Sea to further escalate. In this spirit, and in accordance with the DOC, we continue to urge all parties to exercise self-restraint and refrain from unilateral and assertive activities that would increase tensions in the region, misunderstandings, and miscalculations in the South China Sea. We are concerned over consistent actions that are in violation of obligations under international law, including the 1982 UNCLOS and under the DOC. We must oppose the dangerous use of Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels in the South China Sea. We are concerned over illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing and the militarization of reclaimed features in the South China Sea. We continue to support freedom of navigation and overflight and the rules-based international order in the South China Sea. We are still committed to defending our sovereignty, our sovereign rights, and the maritime jurisdiction in accordance with UNCLOS. The Philippines has consistently reaffirmed our support for the principles and purposes of the UN Charter, especially of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political independence, with respect to the conflict in Ukraine as well as other areas of concern. The Philippines will always continue to champion an open and inclusive regional order where the rule of law and ASEAN centrality remain the bedrock of an evolving regional architecture. The Philippines reiterates its steadfast commitment to a rules-based international order. We call on the members of the international community to respect and uphold the principles of international law to address the challenges to peace, stability, and security. The Philippines reiterates its call on the international community to adhere to the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea and the rules-based international order. While ASEAN provides insights into regional dynamics and challenges, the UN has a global reach and expertise in various other fields. By continuing to work together, our organizations are able to leverage our strengths and expertise to achieve common goals. ASEAN and the UN may explore cooperation in the ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific, which aims to contribute to the region and globally through attaining the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The Philippines would be honored to serve once again in this important capacity as we advocate the core interests and priorities of the ASEAN and our peoples before the United Nations through the Security Council. Rest assured, Secretary General Guterres, that the Philippines, as a founding member of both the United Nations and ASEAN, remains strongly committed to the determination that we will leave no one behind. I commend the U.S. leadership for the hard work and vision that resulted in the joint statement now known as the Spirit of Camp David. The statement cemented a common security agenda among the United States, Japan, and South Korea on arguably the most problematic issues in the region, issues that undermine regional peace and prosperity, including but not limited to supporting the free and open international order based on the rule of law. The statement opposes any unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the waters of the Indo-Pacific and the militarization of reclaimed features in South China Sea. It as well expresses concern for the continued illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing that affects our fisherfolk. As we forge closer and deeper relationships in the coming years, we hope to continue working together towards a region that enjoys lasting peace, security, stability, and resilience. I welcome Australia's active engagement in maritime-related issues and concerns in the region. And we, the Philippines, thank Australia for expressing concern on the latest actions directed against the Philippines in the South China Sea. We join Australia on the call for peace, stability, and respect for the 1982 Law of the Sea Convention, or UNCLOS. We also reiterate our appreciation to Australia for supporting the Philippine hosting of the 12th ASEAN Maritime Forum and the 10th Expanded Maritime Forum held in Manila last December. We especially welcome the adoption of the ASEAN-Australia Joint Leaders' Statement on strengthening cooperation on food security in times of crises. As food security and nutrition during crises are a common concern shared by all ASEAN member states. Today, we are closer to that vision of an economically integrated regional community as we look forward to the Philippines signing onto the second protocol to amend the agreement establishing the ASEAN-Australia-New Zealand Free Trade Area, or ANFTA. Once we have finished our domestic processes, we are optimistic that this will provide fresh opportunities to improve the flows of goods, services, and investments between ASEAN and Australia. And finally, Mr. Prime Minister, we look forward to welcome you in Manila to reaffirm our country's commitment to advance our bilateral relations to a higher and deeper level. We recognize Canada's role in promoting maritime security and safety in the region. We welcome Canada's continued engagement through capacity-building programs, specialized and skill-based training to counter traditional and emerging threats. We also welcome Canada's Feminist International Assistant Policy, of which Canada has been at the forefront, including Canada's support for the ASEAN Institute for Peace and Reconciliation, through the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives. ASEAN and Canada are undoubtedly natural allies, with shared values, mutual interests across all the pillars of the ASEAN community. It is clear that the growing and deepening strategic partnership of ASEAN and Canada will further advance peace, security, stability, resilience, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific and beyond. very happy to have met you, and I am very happy that we have started to open discussions on trade between our two countries and exchange of information and technology, which is, I think, to the benefit of both our countries. In the Philippines, we have put the front and center as a priority in our economic planning and transformation, agriculture, especially in the face of what we are anticipating in terms of the El Nino and the drought that it brings. We hope that we can find an agreement. It is also important that we continue to strengthen our alliance.
Yung vaccine nila talagang suited, talagang designed para sa sitwasyon. Sa ngayon, sitwasyon sa Indonesia. No? Pero pinag-aaralan din nila nga yung sitwasyon sa Pilipinas at nakipag-ugnayan sila sa UP Los Baños. Kasi kailangan mo, para maintindihan kung anong klase yung virus na hinahanapan ng vaccine, kailangan merong capability rin na i-analyze yung genetics ng virus. Wala pa kami ginagawang decision. Siyempre, nakikinig muna tayo at i-evaluate yan. O sila na ba yung the best na makapag-provide. Pag sabi mong the best in technology, best in price, okay, best in service. I-evaluate pa rin yan. Katulungan natin kung kausap nila yung UP Los Baños, siyempre, hingi tayo ng assessment.
beginning of this year's chairmanship, Indonesia envisioned an ASEAN that continues to be the epicentrum of growth, maintaining the centrality of ASEAN and the pivotal roles it plays. New futures are imagined where ASEAN matters to its people and to the evolving world. Allow us to invite you all to a stroll down the memory lane of what the ASEAN 2023 stands for and the milestones we have achieved together.
Indonesia's ASEAN chairmanship in 2023 comes at a difficult time. But we embrace this responsibility with full hope and optimism. We are committed to prove that ASEAN matters to our peoples and the world. In Baguio, our chairmanship worked tirelessly to address the most urgent needs of our peoples. From protecting our migrant workers to our fishers. From fighting online scam industries to transnational crimes. From promoting EV ecosystem to One Health initiative. We the peoples. That is how the preamble of the ASEAN Charter starts. It means putting our people's interests above everything. Our chairmanship also wants to take ASEAN to the next level. We introduced ASEAN Concord 4 to provide a solid long-term vision for ASEAN 2045. With democracy, human rights, and international law as the pillars, we are working to strengthen ASEAN's agility and capacity in responding to crisis and emergency situations, including by strengthening the decision-making process. We agree to change the name of ASEAN premises in Jakarta to the ASEAN headquarters to reflect ASEAN's determination to strengthen its diplomatic processes for ASEAN's community building and bolster its role as a locomotive for peace, stability, and prosperity in the region. We are transforming ASEAN into an epicentrum of growth, bolstering our regional resilience, including in food, energy, finance, and health sectors, and preparing for the economy of the future, including green and blue economies. Finally, we are translating the ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific into concrete and inclusive cooperation, turning containment into engagement and competition into collaboration. The ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum held this week produced 93 projects of cooperation with a total value of $38.2 billion. No less than 54 countries now have acceded to the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation. This shows a growing acceptance of ASEAN norms and values. Our chairmanship still have some homeworks to do, including the situation in Myanmar. We have worked hard to encourage a peaceful solution as a family through the 5-point consensus. More than 145 engagements have been done over the past 9 months with various stakeholders in Myanmar, but distrust and differences remain deep. But we cannot give up now. ASEAN will continue to help the people of Myanmar bring back democracy and realize their dream for peace, stability, and prosperity. Thank you for your support for our chairmanship. Our journey is not yet over. We are now handing over the baton of ASEAN chairmanship to Lao PDR. Let us continue walking together towards a better future for our region.
Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, sharing the final remarks of the ASEAN 2023 chairmanship, followed by the official handing over of the ASEAN chairmanship, please welcome on stage the President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo.
Sri Baginda, yang mulia para pemimpin ASEAN, yang mulia para pemimpin mitra wicara ASEAN, Ibu dan Bapak yang saya hormati, pertama-tama izinkan saya menyampaikan apresiasi yang tinggi kepada seluruh pemimpin dan undangan yang hadir. Selama 3 hari ini, 12 pertemuan KTT telah diselenggarakan dan menghasilkan 90 outcome documents dan sejumlah kesepakatan konkret dengan mitra. Selama pertemuan saya menangkap optimisme dan energi yang positif dari seluruh yang hadir. Jujur saya katakan, ini menguatkan harapan, ini menguatkan semangat untuk terus melanjutkan perjuangan, mewujudkan kawasan yang damai, kawasan yang stabil, dan kawasan yang sejahtera. Mari kita kukuhkan kawasan Indo-Pasifik sebagai teater perdamaian dan inklusivitas. Ini adalah fondasi kunci yang akan mengantarkan ASEAN ke masa depan lebih baik untuk rakyat dan untuk dunia. Inilah esensi yang dibangun keketuaan Indonesia menjadikan ASEAN Matters sebagai epicentrum of growth. Tapi tugas kita belum selesai, pekerjaan besar ASEAN tidak mungkin selesai dalam satu keketuaan saja. Kita akan terus menghadapi beragam dinamika dan kompleksitas tantangan global. Untuk itu kita harus bahu-membahu, menavigasi tantangan menjadi peluang, menavigasi rivalitas menjadi kolaborasi, menavigasi eksklusivitas menjadi inklusivitas, dan menavigasi perbedaan menjadi persatuan. Kita harus menjadi nahkoda di kapal kita sendiri, dan ini saatnya tongkat keketuaan diserahkan ke Laos. And now we pass the baton to Lao PDR. Mari kita terus perkuat kolaborasi dan kerjasama untuk ASEAN yang damai dan makmur, serta menjadikan dunia sebagai tempat yang lebih baik untuk semua. Sekali lagi, saya mengucapkan terima kasih atas dukungan terhadap keketuaan Indonesia di 2023, dan dengan demikian KTT ke-43 ASEAN dan KTT lainnya secara resmi saya tutup. Selanjutnya saya mengundang Yang Mulia Sonsai Sepundon, Perdana Menteri Lao PDR untuk meneruskan keketuaan ASEAN di tahun 2024.
Allow us to kindly invite the Prime Minister of Lao People's Democratic Republic, Your Excellency Mr. Sonsai Siphandon, to join on the stage. The handing over of the ASEAN Chairmanship. This gavel symbolizes the handover of ASEAN Chairmanship from the Republic of Indonesia to the Lao People's Democratic Republic. Let us welcome the ASEAN Chair for the year 2024. Your Excellency Mr. Sonsai Siphandon, please remain on the stage as we kindly request President Joko Widodo to return to the seat. Now, we would like to cordially invite Your Excellency Mr. Sonsai Siphandon to deliver your remarks.
His Excellency Joko Widodo, President of Republic of Indonesia, Your Majesty, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to President Joko Widodo as well as the government of and people of Indonesia for successful conclusion of the 43rd ASEAN Summit and related summits. We highly commend an achievement under Indonesia ASEAN Chairmanship with the theme ASEAN Matters, epicentrum of growth. The Lao PDR is honored to assume the ASEAN Chairmanship in 2024 and we will build upon the achievement made under the Indonesian ASEAN Chairmanship and success of ASEAN over the past years. We will focus on further consolidating ASEAN community by, and among others, enhancing connectivity and realize to seize opportunity, address challenges, and changing geopolitical and geo-economic landscape. To achieve a more connected and resilient ASEAN, we will continue collective effort in the following amongst others: enhancing ASEAN cooperation, ASEAN external relations, and strengthening ASEAN unity and centrality, involving regional architecture for the regional peace, stability, and development. Enhancing connectivities, narrowing the development gap, promoting carbon neutrality, and advancing digital transformation and economic integration, promoting people-to-people exchanges and cooperation for the climate resilience and health development. The Lao PDR stands ready to work closely with all ASEAN member states and external partners to ensure the continued strengthening of ASEAN community and the success of the Lao PDR's ASEAN Chairmanship under the theme ASEAN Enhancing Connectivity and Resilience. We look forward to warmly welcoming you on to the Lao PDR and the Visit Lao Year 2024. I thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your remarks. We humbly request Your Excellency Prime Minister Si Pangdon to return to your seat. Now, we will commence the ASEAN Chairmanship of Lao People's Democratic Republic with a brief visual.
Southeast Asia is a diverse and important region. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, established in 1967 as an intergovernmental regional organization, has embraced 10 diverse Southeast Asian nations into one family of unity in diversity, with common objectives and shared destiny. We would soon welcome Timor-Leste to be the 11th member of our family. Thanks to the ASEAN Way, ASEAN has withstood various tests of time and attained gradual achievements, such as maintenance of peace and stability, promotion of sustained economic integration and growth, and enhanced cooperation for development. The establishment of the ASEAN Community in 2015, comprising the ASEAN Political Security Community, ASEAN Economic Community, and ASEAN Social Cultural Community, has further strengthened regional cooperation and integration for a community that is politically cohesive, economically integrated, and socially responsible. ASEAN has broadened and deepened its relations not only within the region, but also with external partners. The ASEAN-led mechanisms have attracted external partners big and small, including all major powers, to work together with ASEAN for the common course of peace, stability, and prosperity. ASEAN's centrality in the evolving regional architecture has also been supported by external partners. Against the backdrop where the regional and international landscape is experiencing geopolitical and geo-economic uncertainty, the ASEAN community shall be further strengthened with enhanced capacity and capabilities to both respond effectively to challenges and to seize opportunities. The Lao PDR is very proud of having been a member of the ASEAN family since 1997. We have been doing our best to contribute to the common course of ASEAN, including assuming ASEAN chairmanship twice in 2004, 2005, and 2016. In 2024, the Lao PDR is honored to assume the ASEAN chairmanship for the third time under the theme ASEAN Enhancing Connectivity and Resilience. A connected and resilient ASEAN signifies the strengthened three pillars of the ASEAN community by enhancing ASEAN's connectivity, narrowing the development gap, and advancing greater economic integration, promoting more people-to-people exchange, deepening ASEAN relations with its external partners, as well as maintaining ASEAN relevance and ASEAN centrality in the evolving regional architecture. The Lao PDR stands ready to work closely with its fellow members of the ASEAN family and all external partners to ensure the success of the ASEAN chairmanship year and progress of the ASEAN community in 2024 and beyond. We look forward to warmly welcome everyone from near and far to the Lao PDR in 2024, which is also a Visit Laos year. The Lao PDR's ASEAN Chairmanship 2024. ASEAN Enhancing Connectivity and Resilience.
Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, by welcoming the chairmanship of Lao People's Democratic Republic of ASEAN next year, we hereby conclude the 43rd ASEAN Summit and related summits 2023. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the departure of the leaders. We would like to sincerely thank all the delegates for your valuable participation. We hope you had a wonderful time here in Jakarta, and we wish you a delightful journey and a safe arrival back home.
Enjoyed this video? Hit the like button and share with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.